In today's lesson, we're going to use trig ratios to find or determine angle measures. Now, if you remember yesterday, what we did is we used trig ratios to find or determine the side length. So today what we're going to do is the opposite. So we're going to find the angles. So in our first example, it says if you're given trig ratios or decimal equivalent of an angle, you can use inverse trig to find the angle. So we're going to use our calculators, and we need our calculators in order to do this. So what I want you to do is get your calculator right now. Look at mine. I want to make sure, let's first check and make sure that we're in the right settings. So let's go to settings and document settings. All right, your screen again should look like mine. So you should make sure that your angle is in degrees. Say okay. Let's go to new document. Sorry about the flash. I think the calculator is causing that. No. Add calculator. Now we're going to hit our trig button. Now these measurements down here are what we're going to use for our inverse or to find angles. That's very important. All right, so these are our inverse trig functions. So the first one is asking us to find the sine A 0.6. So I'm going to hit sine inverse. I'm going to type in 0.6 and enter. Okay, so that's given us the angle. All right, so our angle here is 36.8. So we want to actually, if we think about that as an angle, we want to give a whole number. So we're going to give an approximation. So our answer here would be approximately, let's erase that, approximately 37 degrees. Okay, let's try the next one. The next one says the cosine theta equals 3/4. So go back to my calculator. I'm going to go to trig, my inverse cosine. I'm going to put in 3 divide 4, close the parentheses, enter, and I get an answer of 41.4. But again, we want that whole number, all right, or to the nearest degree. So I'm going to go back. So the answer was 41.4. So the answer is approximately 41 degrees. Okay, let's do the last one. The last one is tan x some angle equals 0.38. So I'm going to go to trig, inverse tan 0.38, close parentheses, enter, and I get 20.8. So to the nearest degree, that's going to be approximately 21 degrees. So approximately 21 degrees. All right, so what I want you to do, just as a little change up, I want you to do the same thing for tan A, sine A, cosine A, and sine A. So you do that. You can pause. Okay, so the answers you should have gotten approximately 77 degrees, approximately 7 degrees. You should have gotten equals 60 degrees. And then for the sine A 0.89, you should have gotten approximately 63 degrees. All right, let's go down to our triangle. It says, find the measure of theta in each triangle below, round your answer to the nearest degree. So again, strategy is the same. I'm going to highlight my angle, or theta. I'm going to identify the different sides of the triangle according to that relationship. All right, so the side opposite, O. The side opposite the right angle is my hypotenuse. And then 14 is going to be my A, or ADJ, or my adjacent. Okay, but even before I set this up, I'm going to write on the side, sine equals O over H cosine equals A over H, and then tangent equals O over A, Takatoa. Okay, now I can start to work. So I'm looking for the angle theta. What relationship do I have? Well, I have my hypotenuse and I have my adjacent. So which trig ratio is going to be adjacent and hypotenuse? Well, it's going to be cosine. So I'm going to write the cosine of theta, always some angle, the angle is what we're looking for, equals the adjacent 14 over the hypotenuse 32. All right, now I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to find out what angle gives me that relationship. So I'm going to type in, hit the trig button, the inverse cosine. All right, and I'm going to, it's going to be 14 divided by 32, close parentheses, enter, and then I get 64.05. Right? So I get equals 64.05, and it says that my answer needs to be to the nearest degree. So it's going to be approximately 64 degrees. Okay, the next triangle I'm going to approach the same way, or the next angle, sorry. So same strategy, I'm going to highlight my angle. I'm going to determine the side opposite, which is O. The side opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, and the side next to it is the adjacent angle. Okay, so I'm going to highlight which sides I'm given. So I'm given my opposite and my adjacent. So I look over at the side and I see which trig ratio deals with opposite and adjacent, and it's going to be tangent. So I'm going to set up tan of theta equals my opposite, which is 26, over my adjacent, which is 18. All right, back to my calculator. Hit the trig button. And then I'm looking at the inverse tan. Inverse tan is going to be 26 divided by 18. Close the parentheses, enter, and I get an answer of 55.3. So this equals 55.3. So my nearest degree is going to be approximately 55 degrees. All right, so what I want you to do, I want you to write down some key ideas here, very important, they'll be checked tomorrow, and I want you to use your notes to do your check your understanding. All right, that's also important. All right, go Cats, go Knights.